Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. Okay, why do I do this to myself? Yeah, it's not for money. It's not for, um, popularity because so much of what I say is unpopular on basically every side. But I'm always honest and rational about all of it. Uh, so both I sat and I watched today, and I watched both the Trump and the Biden town halls from last night. And they were, well, pretty much everything that I expected them to be. So let's. I am not going to include any clips from any of this. For one thing, you know, I did this to myself, and I don't want to force it on other people. If you want to watch them, good. Watch them and get your own take on it. Don't just watch clips uh, that are giving you a preset conclusion. Actually watch them. Okay? This is what I'm always encouraging people to do. Go to the source. Uh, don't don't adopt your opinion because someone else told you that you should have this opinion. That includes my opinion. All right, so the most striking thing, it has been noted that there was a major difference in the tone of the two town halls. I'm really got to say this. This is absolutely true. Now, the town hall with Trump was very, uh, confrontational, oppositional. The the mediator was definitely um, critical and asking critical questions. Now, of course, Trump, Trump's reaction and what it's going to be. And whereas the Biden town hall was all, you know, camaraderie, it was basically camaraderie and softballs and, um, you know, all too friendly. There were no confrontations. There was nothing to challenge anything that he had to say. Whereas in the Trump town hall, yeah, he got challenged by the mediator numerous times. And I noticed another big difference is the number of people in the audience for each one. And with there were, there was a small crowd of people, all with masks at the Trump town hall. In the Biden town hall, there were a lot fewer people, and they all appeared to be pretty well handpicked. I could say that about both of them. That the people allowed to stand up and ask questions appeared to be very well handpicked in advance. Um, but in the Biden town hall, it was like the same people were allowed to get up and ask questions on multiple occasions here. Anyway, both of the down halls were largely delusional, devoid of substance. Um, Both were trying to paint rosy pictures of their past or present administrations to try and convince you that they had achieved things that they had not achieved. Both town halls were, uh, against any accountability or, responsibility for things that they have done that have been extremely harmful. In both cases, they talk about the economy as though it was so much better, and race relations and foreign relations, and there's just no substance to any of it. On Trump's side, he actually did come out and say that he has disavowed white supremacists, um, and that he will, support a peaceful transition of power. He came out and said that in this town hall. But, pardon me, I need a sinus transplant. And then QAnon came up, and he refused to disavow any of that. I'm not really going to blame him for this, because, a lot of his followers actually, ascribe to this QAnon delusional garbage. It's like, and so they've turned that into a religion of sorts. So if he did speak out against it, he runs the risk of alienating those people. So that's kind of neither here nor there. He did continue with his rhetoric about Antifa. But then you got the Biden side, and he actually, I'm going to say with his town hall, for some people on the fence that watched it, I'm going to say that he probably convinced some people that are on the fence. I was amazed. He managed to stay lucid throughout the entire thing. He didn't make any of his infamous gaffes that I identified. Although there was a big difference between the town halls that I noted in the number of breaks that they took. The Biden town hall took about 5 times as many breaks as the Trump town hall. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. I would have to hear from somebody that was in the audience or something like that. But they were on 2 different channels, so maybe that has something to do with it. One of them just wanted to push for more advertising money from more sponsors, what have you. But a lot of those breaks were to advertise their own station. So that tends to, so they weren't making money off of pushing themselves. So that kind of calls it into question for me. Anyway, Biden actually made some very good sounding points, but then he goes off on different things, and like he was asked if he supports packing the Supreme Court, and he still refuses to answer this, but basically said it depends on what happens with the the current Supreme Court nominee between now and election day. But he said that he's going to let his stance on this be known before election day. I'm not going to hold him to that because I don't really think if this nominee is not confirmed before or rejected between now and then, which she probably will be, then, if that confirmation or rejection doesn't come, then I don't believe that his statement on his position is going to be detailed. On Biden, he he has said that he wants to engage in more diplomacy, and yet we already know that he's in favor of increasing the military budget. And as far as the international relations, he was still pushing Russiagate, still pushing the rhetoric about the story, the fantasy that has not been in any way proven, which the Pentagon has spoken against, about Russia paying Taliban to kill American soldiers. He was still pushing that in this debate. And he spoke against North Korea. He spoke against China. So if he's speaking against these countries and saying that, we need to confront them, basically, where's the diplomacy in that? That's not diplomacy. As far as Trump with those countries, he's said that he was going to reach deals. Oh yeah, the great deal maker. He hasn't managed to make any deals with anyone. He hasn't managed to make a deal with Pelosi. But going to COVID, Biden said he wouldn't have shut the country down. He would have spent money to try and to keep the country open, to keep everything open, and he never would have implemented the restrictions that have been used, that have saved possibly hundreds of thousands of lives up to this point. He said it very clearly. His main concern would have been the economy over lives, really. He doesn't at all address the fact that there were shortages of the materials necessary to take the steps that he talks about. There were shortages. I'm a nurse. I'm well aware of these things. There were shortages of masks, shortages of hand sanitizer, shortages of gowns. Everything that he talks about couldn't have been done because the resources to do it were not there. The reason that we needed most of the shutdown was because the resources were not there. I'll say Trump was right when he said that we did not have enough ventilators, and that question didn't come up with Biden at all. We should have been, stocking ventilators since SARS. For the last 20 years, we should have been building up a stock of PPE and ventilators and stuff like this, and we haven't. Biden was vice president for 8 years. And this is what led to Trump being elected anyway. And Trump, when it comes to health care, then, Biden is still pushing the ACA, Obamacare, which is a corporate welfare program for insurance companies. Meanwhile, Trump is talking about, repeal and replace, and you cannot get him to focus and answer about what is he going to replace it with. Everything, he kept on coming back to the same point about, repeal, but what are you replacing it with? He literally claimed that the cost of health care has gone down when somebody from the audience had asked questions about it. And, insurance companies have already announced they're increasing health insurance premiums by as much as 40% for 2021 over the cost of insurance this year. In no way does Trump make any kind of concession to the millions who have lost health insurance. So they're both losers on this issue. They're both losers as far as the pandemic. Anyway, most of all, once again, with both town halls, whether you watched one or both, again, the losers are the American people. No, if I had to choose between one and the other right now, on the town halls, I would say Biden won. Just because most people are just not going to pay attention. Most of the people that watch one town hall did not and will not watch the other town hall. So there was absolutely nothing that Trump said in his that would convince anyone on the fence to support him. Biden, maybe a few. But we all lose. Anyway, that's it for this one. Please share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. Thank you very much to Wendy Chavez for your recent donation. And that helps more than you know. Anyway, you have a good evening. I'll see you in the next one.